Game on Goose, taking a look at the teams and drivers, upgrades, and current settings for this sister league to the SLV, the Secondary Challenger League Virtual. First up is Rickware Racing, owned by Het, a sister team to Spire Motorsport in SLV, the only sister team to fall in the CLV. All the other sister teams of SL teams are down in the JLV, the Journeyman League, the third league, which will debut tomorrow. Rozim and Musa, the drivers for Rick Ware, and they failed their speed upgrade today. Next on the list is Rich Energy Virtual, owned by Priya, driven by Priya as well, and Proline 4. They are putting a lot of skill points in there today, and they failed their speed upgrade as well. Down for Rick Ware, just a note, Musa's putting in 3 points and Rozim putting in 2 points. So already some high wagers here. And a very special announcement, Polish national racing team Orlen won the Apple Amazing Draft. This team owned by Reto, of course, the Polish driver. And Apple Amazing entering the arena for the first time ever in the UR2D official racing league world. Of course, the developer, creator of our beloved game. Racing alongside absolute newcomer 6YDG. Last minute replacement. This team succeeded their speed upgrade, and also YDG dropping 4 big skill points into this race. Apple Amazing using none. Talento Rojo, founded by Kamikaze, having also a sister team in the JLV, which you will see yesterday, failed their upgrade. Their upgrade was for speed as well. Kamikaze and Danimator racing alongside each other this season. Danimator using 1 skill point today. Pappy Pop Racing, the elusive senior Pappy, famed, mysterious would-be SL driver now, CLV team owner, racing with Vlad Richard 96, both dropping 4 dimes of skill into the opening race together. Could be a 1-2 finish, who knows? Acceleration succeeding for them. And they will be some front runners in the very first race. Toad Racing System, owned by, of course, Toad Speed. Golden Phoenix racing alongside him. Phoenix putting 2 and Toad putting 1 skill points into their car. The turbo upgrade succeeding. And a notable event here, along with Floyd McLovin Jr., who is racing, of course, Butterlord was his racing name, Floyd McLovin Jr., along with Golden Phoenix. 2 drivers in the CLV who own a team in the SLV and the JLV. So those 2 players, the claim to fame for being involved in all 3 leagues this season as the expansion debuts. Auto Racing Matessa, founded by Kubo, another owner to have a junior team in the JLV. So him and Kamikaze having a CL and JLV team. Nomskar and Julo. Nomskar putting 1 point in, racing for the team this year, and the acceleration upgrade succeeding. A little bit less risky than the speed, and it shows successful. Toro Racing team owned by Miku. Miku spending 1 point for the debut. Floyd McLovin Jr. spending none. Their upgrade failed. For Turbo, they went for the highest success rate, and they succeeded to fail the odds and have nothing to show for it. Hurricane Racing, owned by Keto, driven alongside Corvid, is Not That Guy from SLV last year. Turbo succeeding this time, and they are going to be around the middle of the grid, I suspect, for this one. But Kato Racing down in the JLV, you will see him on Butter's team. Scuderia Carmona Racing, owned by Aria Carmona, founded and being raced alongside Suicide from France. We have Suicide putting in 2 skill points today, but their upgrade for speed again failed. 1 successful speed upgrade, everything else failing for the speeds as the odds would dictate. Those are your CLV teams and drivers. Absolute franchise inaugural league debut race today. Let's take a look at the track and where we're heading. All right, of course, we're going to Buenos Aires for the first race. 35 laps on the docket today. 35 laps, 10% rain with all tires available. Penalties on, boost on, collisions on. Here we go. And away we go. It is quali for the very first wonderful debut of the CLV. It's Vlad Richard out front for Pappy Pops. We saw this coming, 6YDG, and Pappy, of course, right up there with them. The biggest spending drivers in this race. Other drivers with points, Priya, Prolime, Musa, spending 3, so they should be up there as well. Suasid up there with only 2 points spent, up in 6th right now in the category. Some of the other laps coming in here. 34.2, 30.02, 29.95, and 9.2 for Vlad Richard. That acceleration really paying off. Being a little bit more valuable than top speed, perhaps, for the Pappy Pops. Double outfit, they're looking to put him on the front row. 29.55, 7.3, and 9.0. That should be your top 3. Looks like Suasid might snag a spot as well. Vlad Richard gonna have a strong finish here. Front row is gonna be Vlad Richard, and oh, he goes even faster. Look at that. Fantastic. Qualifying from Pappy. Oh, he snags it. Pappy snags it on the last lap for the provisional pole and a 1-2 start for Pappy Pop Racing. I don't know if it's the best point strategy to put all your eggs in the same basket as a team. However, they are going to be making a statement today. 6YDG and Prolime in the next row for Rich Energy Virtuals. A great starting qualifying for Prolime. Priya making a debut on the third row with Suasid with Scuderia Carmona Racing. Very, very close behind is Rosime with Rick Ware Racing. And Musa getting kind of the short end of the stick, spending 3 tokens but only qualifying 10th. Not that guy from Hurricane Racing and Golden Phoenix, 8th and 9th. Corvid for Hurricane Racing in 11th. Miku, 12th for Tor Racing. And there's Toad in 13th. Nomskar for Auto Racing, Matessa in 14th. Danimator and Kamikaze, the joint Talento Rojo drivers, in 15 and 16. Only spending 1 token between the two. Apple Amazing not spending any, as is Floyd McLovin Jr., Aria Carmona, and Julo. All at the back. Let us see. May the best driver win. And we're off at the Buenos Aires CLV Grand Prix. Pappy out to the early lead at the start, fighting with 6YDG, making a break up, and Prolime scooting around the middle as well, and Vlad Richard drops down into 4th place. Priya still up there and relevant in the top of the pack. Rosime a little bit more off the pace, getting into our top 10 now. We're going to take a look at the wider grid. Golden Phoenix following. Miku, Danimator, Suasid, Nomskar up there in the hunt as well. And then a little bit down the list are our drivers who spent very few to 0 tokens. Musa falling down even further on a 3-point spend here. We'll have to keep an eye on his race. Aria Carmona, Apple Amazing, Julo, not that guy, Corvid, Kamikaze, Floyd McLovin Jr. rounding it out. Up at the top, Pappy has got himself a 1.3 second lead already as Vlad Richard goes 1-2 and Prolime tries to chase them down. A great battle ensuing between Golden Phoenix and Rosime, both on the hard tires to start. And we have Danimator, 6YDG in your top 7. Now great battle 3 wide going into the corner between Nomskar, Musa, Priya. Toadspeed takes it on the inside with the boost, and they go into that really staggered S section of the course, a really tough area of the track. And you see, this is where grip would be coming in to play, but nobody even went for grip in the CLV in round 1. Rosiem, Golden Phoenix, looking fantastic here. Right now, only spending 2 tokens, but finding himself in 4th position right now, as Vlad Richard draws a penalty to Proline to get himself into a more comfortable looking 2nd place. Pappy pops 1-2, just 4 laps into the race here in Buenos Aires. The boost working very nicely at the start of this track. Drivers being able to keep it on the road as Pappy starts to get a little bit of wear in his mediums, but as you see, this may be the only section where it could come into play. But you could pretty much do that section flat out, so the S is not really giving much of a challenge to the drivers. A little bit further down, Golden Phoenix still in 4th place comfortably. Rosiem catching up a little bit, but nothing to make a challenge of yet. 6YDG, the debut for POL. A brand new driver to the UR2D racing universe, getting pursued by Namskar in the Matessa outfit. Musa making his way back up to 8. We wanted to monitor his progress, dropping 3 tokens on this race. Rosiem, his teammate, 3 positions ahead of him, only spending 2. So Musa definitely battling back up after dropping down to about 13th place. Priya would like to see a little bit better of a result here. And Musa will have to head into the pits soon, but it won't be this lap. And we'll see if he's going to use a little bit of a slipstream on Priya. But no, not going to do that because he's back ahead of her as Suasid and Miku close the gap between these 2 battlers who are losing a little bit of time. Rosiem closes in on Golden Phoenix in the meantime. Suasid making his way past Musa. 6YDG finally heads into the pits. Proline also taking a pit onto the hards. And Rosiem goes by Golden Phoenix and retakes 3rd, keeping that battle alive. Priya now out in front of this group. Suasid biding his time to let those hard tires kick in as 6YDG is impatient trying to get by him. Might it open up the door for Musa, who's now back down to 9th, only 1 position better than his 10th place qualifying. But he is dropping off the pace and going into the pits as Suasid stays out for an extra lap on the worn hards. Only a few drivers have pit still, many of them on the hards. Rosiem, Golden Phoenix, Vlad Richard, and Pappy all should be pitting soon. Oh my goodness, Pappy is going to stay out again. This will cost him some time. Vlad Richard also. So maybe the other drivers can get a little bit closer as they are going to be a little bit slippery on these definitely worn down mediums. 10 laps old. They will be by the time they get around. Priya still ahead of Suasid. It's going to be time for Priya to pit this lap as well. Namskar and Musa doing the tag team swapping pass for slipstream on this lap. Will it work well enough for them to catch up with the rest of the pack? It looks like Namskar's a little bit off the pace compared to Musa, which makes sense. He's only spending 1 token compared to Musa's 3. Toad Speed sitting right in the middle of the field in 11th spot on those worn out hards, still going. We see Vlad Richard and Pappy out for another lap on the mediums. Miku, a nice little battle between Apley and Not That Guy. Danimator, Corvid are backfield. Floyd McLovin up to 17th, but still not pitting yet. He will drop down as he's getting lapped by Proline. Julo off the course a little bit, even though he's got fresh tires on. Here comes Pappy on the pit stop. Proline, your current leader with the hards. It did prove to slow down the Pappy Pop drivers a little bit, staying out on those mediums a little bit too long. They're on the softs now, though. And Vlad Richard puts on another set of mediums. Lap traffic here coming into play. Vlad Richard gonna put the boost on and try and get away from the lap traffic. And here comes Pappy, 1.5 seconds behind Prolime. Prolime putting on the lap over Applamazing for POL. And it is Rich Energy leading the way in our very first debut CLV race. Pappy gonna put a lap on Applamazing as well, as those soft tires clearly faster and in better condition. Going for the pass now on Prolime, reinstating himself into the lead. Let's see, Vlad Richard will be the next to pursue Prolime as those tires really start to wear down. But as you see, the mediums stretch to, what was it? 12 laps, I think it was. Musa now up into 5th. A great charge from the Rick Ware driver. Now ahead of Rosime, his teammate, by a few positions. Golden Phoenix still holding on nicely to 6th spot. A great debut for Toad Racing. Going to get good value on those token spendings is Golden Phoenix. His partner Toad sticking around in 14th place. Not quite in the points. Priya trying to get better value for her points here. Battling with Rosime right now and taking a slipstream on Nomskar. Nomskar very delighted to be sitting in 7th right now after only spending 1 token, a reminder there. So great value for Matessa as well. Priya rounds the corner with better grip than Rosime and Nomskar and puts a little bit of a move on Julo to get by. Rosime in pursuit still. And wow, fantastic driving from Priya. Staying ahead of Rosime, who's on the new soft tires. And really making Rosime work for this pass. Now, Arya Carmona is going to get in the way of Priya a little bit. This is going to allow Rosime to catch up and undo a little bit of the work that Priya had done, as he easily gets around her. And really blasting through the straightaway. I mean, they both failed their speed upgrades, but Priya just really putting a nice impressive display on here, staying well ahead of Rosime in pursuit. Suwasid comfortably in 9th place, and Miko holding on to that final point spot right now. But Nomskar on the fresh tires, of course, Miku's going to have to pit, and it's going to make room for Not That Guy to battle a penalty to Toad there as he gets in the way of Pappy, trying to do laps on everybody, about 5 seconds ahead of everybody. Vlad Richard is going to be your intermittent leader as Pappy takes the pit for the hards. Vlad still has some time left out on those mediums. Miku in 13th spot for Tor Racing, a brand new team, a brand new owner entering into the Racing League, having made 1 appearance in Challenger League proper racing. Now getting into the ownership and driving role on the track. Trying to get a slipstream from your current leader, Vlad Richard, 96, as they both have the mediums on. Vlad Richards are starting to wear down a little bit, but you see the skill points just making the difference over the tire wear or the car upgrades right now in the early stages of the season. As expected, they will be the difference maker in the first few races. Not That Guy looking to try and push himself into a battle for the points as well, chasing down Toad Speed and Suwasid in the very last point spot with fresh tires coming out, looking comfortable for a points finish today. Nomskar back out on the softs as we look at the clouds right now ominously building. Will that turn into rain and ruin some of these strategies who've just gone on to the newer tires? Rosime would love a rain right now and give himself an advantage over some of those drivers who have just pitted, like Musa in 7th place. Musa looking to make a charge into the top 5. It's not going to happen. It's going to get sunny again and the track will remain dry. But let's see if he can chase down Priya, who's been putting on a clinic in these hards, but will she pit in time, or will she start bleeding time? Golden Phoenix 6 seconds back of the top 4. That's who Priya would theoretically be chasing down, as she does go in for the hards. I think that was a good decision on first stint on the softs. Let's see what unfolds. She will get ahead of Namskar fairly quickly, I would assume, with the skill and the tire difference, yes. So back in to 7th place, chasing down Musa once again. Now Musa definitely had a disappointing quali and start to the race, looking fantastic now. Going to be chasing down Golden Phoenix for an eventual top 5 with only 12 laps to go. Don't know if it will be possible, but we do see Golden Phoenix having to dig a pit. We'll see how much time comes down. I do believe it is possible if Musa continues to push. Danimator and Apple Amazing battling for 14th spot there behind. And going into the pits is Phoenix. And I do believe Musa will take the pass. Let's see. He's going on to the hards for one final stint. This will take him to the end of the race. Musa on the mediums. It will be a push if he goes to the end. I don't know if they will hold on long enough. It's going to be a very interesting finish to that little battle going on right here. Prolime still in 2nd spot. 3 seconds, 4 seconds rather, and holding on Pappy. And they have exactly the same tire wear on the hards. They will not likely be able to safely get to the end of the race on the hard tires. However, they may dangerously push them to the end of the race. 6YDG with an incredible debut right now, looking great in 3rd place for Orlin. Expected to be right up there with Vlad Richard. 96 on the fresh softs. This is a risky strategy because these definitely are going to wear out much quicker than the other drivers. Vlad Richard's probably looking at one more stop to the end of the race, but we will just have to see. We do not know. The top 4 are decided already. Our big investments going in to the tokens. There's a 10-second gap between our next driver, Musa, who's made his way past Priya into the top 5. An incredible climb from, I think it was 13th spot for the Rick Ware driver. Priya just down in 6th, looking to stay relevant and stay in touch with this battle for a possible top 5. And a double Rich Energy top 5 would be an amazing start for all of these brand new teams. The very first races can be deemed important, or they can be deemed, you know, a place to bide your time and save up for a better car or better skills on more suitable tracks to what your upgrade strategy is perhaps later, as Golden Phoenix muscles out the lapped car of Arya Carmona, who's down in 19th spot next to dead last. Not the debut she was hoping for, even though she had no points spent, but not expecting to take any points, just expecting to set herself up for a successful season and bank those skill points as many teams will do. Rosine now getting pursued by Pappy, going for a lap. Pappy being able to lap all but the top 7 drivers ahead of him thus far. We have 8 laps left. It is going to stay dry. And we're going to do a rundown right from the top as Pappy takes the slipstream, but not quite as effectively as maybe he could on Rosine, but gets by him as Rosine is, of course, starting to slide on those tires. So, back up top, Pappy has dangerously worn out hards, still with a 5.5 second lead over Proline. As he does get by Rosine, both drivers will have to take it into the pits at some point, or chance it. We will see if Pappy's going to chance it or not. Pappy stays out for this lap at least. Prolime does go into the pits. Prolime goes into the pits. That means Vlad Richard is going to stay out on these brand new softs and be in a rightful 2nd place with a good chance to win this race if he chases down Pappy. We'll see if Pappy stays out and takes the gamble or not. What an interesting turn of events this has been. Prolime going to be pushing hard to catch Pappy, but it is a long way away. Only 2 seconds behind Vlad Richard right now, but here comes 6YDG, also with brand new softs to chase in these leaders. Musa and Phoenix in a bit of a battle, and they may take their tires to the end. Musa probably not going to be a beneficiary if this happens. Pappy now just onto the softs to reinstate his lead, was able to get the tires on and retain the lead from Vlad Richard. So that should give him the win, but now we have a sprint to the finish. Proline just a second and a third behind Vlad Richard, and then behind him 6YDG in fourth. Here we go. It's a 4-horse race to the finish. Just 4 laps, 3 laps to go now. It is Pappy and Vlad Richard, a 1-2, leading the way for PPR. What an amazing start to the season this will be for the orange team with the green helmets. Here we go. Vlad Richard taking the slipstream on Pappy, going for a pass at the very end. Looking outside, looking inside, going into the back of him. At this point, Vlad Richard is being held up by Pappy. Any team orders to let him by. He makes the pass on the inside with 2 to go. It's Vlad Richard, 96, in the lead with his teammate Pappy and owner now behind him. What a brilliant debut for the team. 6YDG has made his way past Proline, somehow within the traffic. It's a battle up front still. Pappy in the slipstream, but losing it to Vlad Richard. Vlad Richard just with another lap to go. A lap and a half. 6YDG chases down Pappy, and team POL is looking to snag one of those top 2 spots away from PPR as Proline drops off the pace into 4th place, nearly 2 seconds off now. Pappy still in the slipstream of Vlad Richard. It is the final lap here in Buenos Aires. Vlad Richard takes the boost. Pappy stays in his slipstream but makes a mistake, and he's going to fall off the pace. Will that be enough for 6YDG to get in the way and take a top 2, 1-2 finish away from PPR? It doesn't look like it. Pappy's right back in the slipstream. He goes inside and passes him nearly the same fashion that Vlad passed him 2 laps ago. It's Pappy Pops leading it down the final turn at Buenos Aires. Vlad Richard going to 1-2. Proline looking to grab a third. It's Pappy winning the Buenos Aires Grand Prix. POL in third, and Proline for Rich Energy in fourth. Priya looking to make it a double top 5 for Rich, as Musa is just a second and a bit off the pace. And what a race here to start the CLV. Golden Phoenix, Rozim, Suacid, and Nomskar in your top 10. And that is the way it's going to finish. Out of the points is Hurricane Racing, Tor, and Tar. An incredible, breathtaking debut of our CL Challenger League virtual. Pappy and Vlad Richard, the double podium for Pappy Pop Racing. 6YDG, just a second and a half off the pace. Apley's teammate for Rito's team on the podium in third. Prolime and Priya, the Rich Energy Virtuals, in fourth and fifth. Musa and Rozim 6th and 8th. A great debut for Rick Ware Racing, investing a small fortune of 5 points between them into their race. Golden Phoenix with a good result for his 2 points invested, grabbing 7th place. Suacid as well, 2 points invested for 9th, and Nomskar grabbing the single point for a single point. Out of the points, not that guy for Hurricane Racing, Miku for Tor, Toad Speed, Danimator for TAR, Corvid for Hurricane, and Applamazing for POL. Down at the very bottom, Kamikaze, Floyd McLovin Jr., Arya Carmona, and Julo. That has been it for week 1. We'll see you next week at the Monaco Grand Prix CLV.